My name is Koli Feiyu. I go to North Creek High School. My whole life, I was always taught I was different, that I was bigger and stronger than all the other kids. I'll never forget when my coach told me when I was 8 years old, I'll work them all. I only know one way, and that's through hard work. Be the first to show up and last to leave. I'll never forget that. I think what football has taught me is that the game isn't won on Friday nights. It's won during practice, during that day-to-day grind that nobody sees. The 5 a.m. wake-up calls, the extra hours in the weight room, and the extra lines you run at the end of practice. This is where football games are actually won. The trenches are where I grew up, where I learned to love the grind, and where I fell in love with the process. The place I walked into as a boy and came out a man. Football taught me how to set goals and achieve them. I want to say thank you to my mom and my 2 dads for everything they have done for me. Thank you to my brothers for always supporting me, to my cousins and friends, to all the coaches that have coached me. Thank you to FSP for believing in me when others didn't, and thank you to God for giving me this morning. In the fall of 2021, I will be attending the University of Utah.
I feel like the greatest, only been at this for 2 years. Thank God this shit happened so quick. Fashion.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Young and Hungry Show. Today we have brought on a special friend, my man Coley Faaiu.
What's up?
This man has racked up over 13 Division I offers to play college football. Great leader, one of the top recruits in the nation. Very honored to have this man on today. How we doing, baby?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Good, my guy.
Good, brother.
Good.
Great to be on here.
Tell us a little bit more about where you came from. Like what your background was. Who were the certain people that helped you, develop the values that you've developed in your life, and just tell us a little more about yourself, man.
Definitely. So I was originally born in California, San Francisco Bay Area. Grew up there for about 3 years until my mom had my second oldest brother, which was Kateo.
Okay.
And as soon as that happened, we moved out of there. My mom and dad had broken up at that point, and we had moved to Washington. But they were really close too, so
Definitely.
We'd switch on back and forth. We stayed in Washington for about 3 years after that. I was about 6 or 7. My brother was about 4. And we moved to Hawaii for a little bit, about a year and a half. Moved back to Washington, found out the academics were a lot better here. And then ever since that, I've lived here.
Definitely.
And then my mom had met my stepdad, and then finally had my 2 youngest brothers. And then I'd say that my stepdad and my dad were like the biggest influencers, because they always try to give me all these sports and stuff like baseball, soccer, football, basketball, anything they can give me. Yeah, they just tried to have me do everything I can, just to see which sport I was really built for. And then
Definitely.
Football, baseball, basketball were like the 3 big ones that I love doing. Once middle school hit, I dropped basketball, and I was like, "No, I can't do that anymore. I'm not built for that. I can't be running up and down the court and just
You'd be
losing my breath."
That'd be scary.
I got a nice jumper, but man, I gotta keep it. I gotta keep that low. I'm not trying to roll ankle or nothing, but
Definitely.
kept playing baseball and football after that. I was a monster in baseball, but I'd say freshman year is when I was really like, nah, I just gotta stick with football.
Definitely.
After that, I just stuck with football ever since. Now I just keep achieving my goals and just keep going on it.
Absolutely. Damn right. Well, so in the recruitment video that I watched of you that we had in the beginning, you were talking about how you developed that, show up first and leave last work ethic. Who would you say, how did you even get that mindset in the first place? Because, you don't just get that mindset out of nowhere. You got to have people that you're seeing doing that. Was it that at the facility you were training at? Was it you just, had some insane ambition that you were like, yo, I'm trying to be somebody? Like, where did that come from?
So when I was at my last high school, which was Archbishop Murphy, it was a private Catholic school.
Yep.
There was this one player that I met named Kyler Gordon.
Yeah. Oh, at UW now?
Yeah, he's at UW now. He always used to come into the locker room before anybody. Like it was right after school or on a weekend or before a game. He'd always come in before everybody.
Right.
And one of these days, I came in really early, and I saw him with a piece of paper, and I asked him, like, hey, what's that? He was like, oh, these are my goals for practice or the game, like whatever it was. Usually it was mostly before practice, because he didn't like to have that before his games, because he didn't want to know, like, hey, I don't want to fix anything during this game.
Yeah.
I just want to go out and play my hardest.
Exactly.
So I asked him, like, hey, what's that? He's like, oh, these are my goals for my practice. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, oh, so I have stuff written down like, hey, I'm going to juke everybody in front of me. I'm going to catch every single ball. I'm going to make sure no one gets past me. I'm going to make sure I score every touchdown that I have a chance to get. And I just thought that was really cool. And I sat down at my locker, and I was like, dude, that's amazing how someone can just do that without telling me to do that. And then when he had left my freshman year, because he was a senior at the time, moved on to going to UW. And I was like, okay, I want to try that too. So my sophomore year, I did the same thing. I came in early before everybody else could. Usually I'd write my goals during my last class or when I woke up for like a weekend practice or like a game.
You good.
And then come in the locker room, just read it over, have stuff written down like, hey, I'm going to pancake everybody in front of me. I'm going to make sure no one gets past me when I'm on offense. I'm going to get past everybody on defense. I'm going to go sack the quarterback. I'm going to block everybody in front of me. I'm going to make sure that I know what I'm doing when I'm up on the line. I just had stuff written down like that. I just made sure that I fixed everything during each week of practice. So I went to the game knowing, hey, I'm about to dominate and be the most hardworking player on this field right now, and I'm going to absolutely crush everybody in front of me.
100%.
So that's where that kind of mindset to show up first and leave last really came from.
Definitely.
That's good stuff, my guy.
So what was like the biggest turning point in your football career? Like you were telling me you played basketball, football, like soccer, I don't know, a ton of different sports. What set football apart from all the others? Because you could be a fucking D1 basketball player if you wanted to.
Yeah, definitely. I was always told that if you set your mind to something, you can always do it. Like you said, like I could be right now playing baseball and be like the best freaking baseball player in our state right now.
Yeah.
But when I really started to take on football and like start to training and everything, I really started to find that passion of just like how my body fluently moves with it and how my body's not the same as a lot of these other linemen. Like I can run a lot faster than some of these guys. I can lift a lot more. And I'd say my freshman year is when I was really like, man, like football is my driving passion, and like I really want to play this. And that's when I really started to take everything seriously. Practice. I go to practice, get on my teammates, make sure everything was good. Not even just my teammates, but myself as well.
Definitely.
So
that's good stuff, my man. I love that. So, as you've been getting older and everything, I've obviously played with you the last couple of years, and I know how you are on and off the field. Everyone that I've ever come around that's talked about you has always said good things. Coley's a great leader. He's grounded. He's humble. He's got that humility, and I think that's one thing that set you apart. Especially, man, I have to give that to you is your ability to have humility and about where you're at, and you're always fucking trying to get more. So obviously you're looked at as a leader by a lot of young kids, right? So how can you talk to other kids and be like, yo, this is how you be a great leader. This is how you start developing yourself and be looked at as someone that, people look up to.
I would say be the loudest on the field. Really know what you're doing.
About, you mean like a voice of like authority, or like what do you?
Yeah, you could say that, but more of that. You want to be the loudest on the player.
Because what if you're just loud as fuck, but you're like you can't back it up with anything?
No, definitely, yeah, that's agreeable.
But I know exactly what you mean. Though,
yeah, but
if you have the talent too, right?
Yeah. It's more of that. You want to be loud in kind of both ways. You want to be loud, knowing that you can do it, and lead by example. Just being like, hey, if I can do this, you can, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
Or what someone else is doing, and you can show them how to do it right.
So by example as well.
Yeah, exactly. Just lead by example, and just, like I said, be the loudest on the field. If someone's not doing something right, tell them what they're doing wrong so they know how to fix it.
Exactly.
Or if you're doing conditioning and like someone's just slacking off, make sure you get on them about it. Because
100%.
if they say like, hey, I love football, I want to go play in college, I want to go play in the NFL, but they're not showing the work ethic, like you can't teach them. I don't know how to explain it, but you can't show someone how to be passionate about something if they don't truly love it. Right? Yeah. So if
you
they
can only say so much.
It's different from saying it than actually showing it. It's like I can say that I want to go play in the NFL, but if I don't show that, like the work ethic on the field or in the class, like it's not really showing that I love it. Yeah, it's just all talk. It's not action. So you got to really make sure that you get on every single person. That's either your teammates, and you just got to make sure you're on them on the field. So.
Definitely.
That's good stuff, brother. I love that.
I mean, yeah, people love to talk. I mean, it's so easy to, right? Because like I could say, I'm gonna go to the NFL. I have like no experience with football, kind of.
Yeah.
But like I could just say that, and like if I'm not really showing that on the field, then there's no point in like
100%.
Because it's so easy to say like, oh, I'm gonna do this, gonna do that, but like people don't want to put in the work. Because like, dude, countless hours on the field, right? Countless hours in the weight room. Like people don't see that, right? They just see, oh shit, Coley committed to Utah. Okay,
he's getting
that's
all these
dope,
offers,
right?
like,
Exactly.
They don't see like
he's going to play.
They don't see like
behind.
yeah, exactly. They don't see the hours on then after practice, even before practice and shit like that. It's like definitely like
100%.
And like a follow up question to that, like, where's your mind at during all that? Like,
What do you mean, like?
how do you create that mindset to?
Are you talking about like that?
Like-
Like keep your head down.
Yeah,
and just fucking
exactly.
bust your
Like
ass
wake
every
up in the
day?
morning,
I
like
see.
stay after practice. Like, how do you train your mind to do that? Because like some days you're obviously not gonna want to do that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, so how do you train your mind? Like, what are your habits into having that great mindset?
So, I always have a goal in mind that I want to make it so my parents don't have to work another day in their life, and I want to be able to pay off everything, like pay off their house. I want to be able to actually buy them a house. I want to be able to buy them everything that they want.
Yeah.
That's one of the most driving factors in my life. Another thing is that I had a cousin that was D1. He played D1 football when I was younger, or not D1 football yet, but he was in high school. He was an absolute monster.
Yeah.
He was like 6'5", weighed like 320 pounds, ran like a 4.9. He was an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And then he actually passed away right before he was going off to college.
Oh wow.
And he was about to commit to college, and he just got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. And when I heard about that when I was younger, I was like, wow, like anything could happen, right?
Exactly.
And just off of seeing like the pictures and videos of him playing, I was just like, man, like, I know that can happen to me, but I just need to keep working every single day because I want to be able to lead on his legacy and know that in our family that there was someone who made it past that point.
Definitely.
So for me, when I actually came to North Creek, I don't know if you know this at all, but there was only a certain amount of people that I talked to.
Oh,
there
for
was
sure.
Jaden, Sam, Jody, and just our small little group.
Yeah,
I didn't really like to socialize with a lot of people.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, my goal was really set on graduating high school, make sure I have good grades, and going on to the next level.
You kind of had that mindset of like, I need to keep my circle small and not bring in anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Keep
I
my
don't.
head down.
Yeah, I don't want to create drama at all to where
No,
I have to worry about that and
Anything that's
totally
gonna slow you down from where you're trying
Exactly,
to go,
exactly.
yeah.
I don't want to make it to where my mind is set aside from football. Like I just want to be stuck on the fact that I want to go to the next level.
Definitely.
And make it to the NFL, and then again pay off everything from my mom and my parents. A lot of people found that really weird, and nobody really understood the fact behind it. And I didn't really like to explain it to a lot of people because then again, I just wanted to stay down on the low and just do my thing, and not have to worry about no one. As my year started going, I started to really open up just a little bit, but not too much. And like I said, I'm friends with all you guys now, a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But again, it's still a little small. Like I don't
Yeah.
open up huge to a lot of people, nor do I like to even brag about what I do.
Right.
I just do it and just to like do it and
Yeah.
know that I'm getting better.
Well, the
every
thing is
single day.
like you don't even need to brag though, because it just shows
Exactly.
what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't need to brag.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling you is like I love that, seeing your ability to have that humility to deploy that, because like that's not very common, with like D1 athletes or people who are like that. It starts to get their head right, and it's like with you, you're able to you kind of just show it, and you're like, yeah, this is what I'm fucking doing. Like I don't need to brag about it, right? Exactly. And that's really cool to see, man. So
and a lot of people even say like, is there someone that is forcing you to do this? Is someone that wants you to do this? And I'm always like, no, man. Like I'm doing this because I have a goal set in mind that I want to achieve.
this is what you want.
And like,
Is this what you've wanted since you were like a little kid, or?
I mean, yeah, but it wasn't something that I was so focused on the point where ever since I was a little kid, I tried to do everything I could. Then again, I played a lot of sports,
Right.
so I didn't have one goal set in mind, like, hey, I'm gonna go play in the MLB or I'm gonna go play in the NBA,
Right.
or make it to the NFL.
Do you think people asking you that question? Sorry to interrupt. Do you think people asking you that question where they were saying like, "Yo, you're basically conforming to like society, like, oh, you have like this size, you have this like natural talent." You people were trying to say like, "Yo, you're literally conforming to what other people were saying." Is that what you think they were trying to say?
Yeah, kind of.
But you were, on the other hand, were like, "Nah, this is my real dream. This is my real goal."
It's always, I wouldn't say always, but once I figured out that one thing that clicked in my head, like, hey, football is what I want to do for the rest of my life, is really when I was like, I'm going to do every single little thing that's going to help me achieve that goal.
Sure.
Definitely.
And like I said a while ago, like I have goals that set up on my mirror, and then I'm gonna do the same thing in college, and just stuff like my first one was make it to college football, hit 100 push-ups a day, drop 20 pounds, make it to the NFL, and I just repeat that every single day in my head or out loud when I'm brushing my teeth, taking a shower.
Are you talking about like affirmations? Like you kind of like say it to yourself, or like?
Yeah, I'll say it to myself. I'll be like,
okay.
hey, I'm gonna make it to the NFL. I'm gonna make it to the
Gotcha.
NFL. I'm gonna make it to the NFL, or I'm gonna drop 20 pounds. I'm gonna hit 100 push-ups, and I'll just repeat that like 100 times.
Gotcha.
Or as much times
Okay.
as I can while I'm in the bathroom.
Yep.
And I know we kind of went over this a little bit, but your mind just kind of tricks you into thinking like, hey, I'm going to help you find every single little thing that's going to help you achieve that goal. Exactly. So, like, how we were talking about books the other day and how, like, I don't like reading a lot. But all of a sudden, now I want to read. Like, so it's really cool. And how I don't really like running a lot or do push-ups, but now all of a sudden, I find it really fun. Like, it's really cool.
Definitely.
Another big one is yoga.
Yoga.
Yeah, yoga.
You've been doing yoga?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like yoga is one of my friends was actually talking about it, and he plays at Eastern Washington right now, and he was telling me like, hey man, like you should look into yoga. And I always thought yoga was super stupid. Like no offense to anybody who does yoga, but I was like, that's really weird.
No,
know?
I had the same mindset.
Yeah.
This dude, because like this dude would go to hot yoga. And be
I
like,
would during our football season last year.
He's like, bro, you have to try it. I'm like,
you fuck.
I never told you guys that because I used to be against yoga. Like you guys always used to talk about. I'm like, yoga, like that's stupid.
You're weird as
I'm
hell.
I was at home just like, damn, this feels good. But
yoga,
so
bro,
yeah, like
really.
I never used to like it, but all of a sudden now I do it as much as possible. I'm like super flexible now, and that's one of the biggest things for achieving.
Yeah, bro, I saw this dude at the gym stretching, and then he's doing straight splits. I'm like, oh my god, like
Straight splits?
Yes, bro.
Oh lord.
But yeah,
That's
so
hilarious.
again, your mind just tricks you into thinking like, hey, I'm going to do everything I can to achieve this.
Because I feel like it taps into that subconscious. And
Yeah.
if you're not physically thinking it right now,
Right.
in the back of your head, you're thinking it.
It's
So
gotta
it's
be in your subconscious
exactly.
mind, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
100%.
Definitely. So, like, I know we touched on this a little bit, but what are your, like, day-to-day habits, though? You said your goals, you said a little bit of reading, but, like, what else do you do?
So when I wake up in the morning, I try to every day. Most of the times I'll just do it like 4 times a week. I'll get up and I'll just wake myself up by going to the bathroom, just throwing some water on me, brush my teeth real quick, and then I'll go down onto my floor and just stretch for like a good 20 minutes before class starts.
Definitely.
And that, it kind of wakes me up a little bit. But there are like every now and then there'll be one of those days where I just lay in bed and I'm just like super tired and to the point where I don't even want to do it. But I try to force myself as much as possible because I know that if I don't do that, my body's just going to sit there for like the next 2 hours just laying like that.
Exactly.
So I try to do that as much as possible, get up and stretch. After that, or after school, I'll just eat like a quick protein bar, or I'll make a quick protein shake of just like straight fruits and vegetables and stuff, maybe a little bit of protein. But since we're in like our cutting phase now, we don't really do that as often. And I'll just head straight to workouts. Get my workouts done. We have a certain workout every day, whether it's like chest, arms, legs, back, shoulders. I'll grind that out, head home, have a good, strong, and healthy dinner. And then at the end of the night, I'll do a little bit more stretching just to make sure my body's all loose and stuff. Just so when I wake up, I'm not super sore and stiff. So where if I get up, like, and I move like a quick joint, like it's gonna like annoy me and make me feel super sore. So that's my like every day, and then every 3 weeks I'll have like a cheat day on Saturday. But it's not one of those cheat days where like I'll eat like hella ice cream or like hella chocolate bars or something like that. No, it's like I'll eat like a burger or something like with the buns off. Or it would be like a chicken sandwich or a pita.
Just like something like a little light.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's not too heavy, but it allows my body to take a quick break and know like, hey, like it's your time to take a break. You can just chill. And
we
stuff.
gotta have that reward once in a while,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
Especially in cutting, you always have to have refeeds.
Oh,
I
for
feel like.
sure.
Yeah.
Because like
100%.
when you're in that deficit, your body's like, hey, yo, like,
Yeah, absolutely.
what are you doing? You know?
Yeah, and then 3 months ago, or actually 2.5 months ago, I started fasting, intermittent fasting. I'd fast from, I'm still doing it right now. I fast from 10 o'clock at night till 10 in the morning. Or if I have kind of a late or early dinner, I'll start fasting at 8 until 10 in the morning.
Okay.
So I kind of eat breakfast at like 11, just so I give my body that time to really reassure itself and make sure everything is recuperating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, man.
So me and Ben have this guy that we really like to listen to. His name's Ed Milet. I don't know if you've ever heard of
I
him.
don't think so, no.
No, but right now he's talking about how like we're in like the holiday season, we're about to be in Christmas and everything, and like a lot of people are, you know, they're kind of slacking like in any area, like their fitness, their, you know, but for you it'd be like, you know, your athletics, right? Like everything, whatever you do on a consistent basis. And I feel like right now with the habits you're talking about, you're kind of in like, you're separating yourself from other athletes who are kind of just like, all right, I'm I'm gonna just chill right now, and then because we're gonna eventually be back to the norm, and you're gonna be fucking prepared, right? And so it's like, do you feel like you're in that season right now where you're like, I'm separating myself from other athletes?
Yeah. I try to get as much people or my friends or just other athletes up off their feet as much as possible, because a lot of my friends that are athletes tend to, now that we're kind of, like you said, coming into like this winter break type of phase, or just throughout this whole pandemic period.
Season,
just this whole pandemic, period.
Yeah.
They just have developed this super lazy side of them that I haven't seen.
I think everyone has, though.
No, definitely. Dude, I have as well. I've developed a really lazy side of myself. But I try to like invite them to stuff. Like, hey, like, let's go work out real quick. And you can really tell if they're stuck in that phase or if they're ready to go. Like sometimes they'll be like, you can like tell that they're lying. Hey, no, I gotta go to my uncle's house or something, or I gotta go pick up my sister from the playground. Like just like stuff like that. Or they'll be like, yeah, man, let's go do it. Where are we going? Like, do I need to bring cleats or something? It's just small stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But one thing that I'd say is that I know we're coming into like the new year, new me type of stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people come to these gyms and like they pack it up, and all of a sudden they're there for like all of January, and all of a sudden they disappear all February. Like, man, you can't do that.
So true.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You see so many fucking people the first month or two, and it's like, where'd y'all go?
But for them, I'd say like, choose a goal. It doesn't have to be a huge goal. Like, hey, I'm about to drop 50 pounds a month.
Like a very clear and direct goal.
That's a goal that you're going to have to not eat. You're going to have to eat one meal like a day.
Exactly.
No, like you don't want to do that. It's not healthy. Like set like a small goal. Like, hey, like I'm going to go work out for like half an hour today. Or I'm going to go do a quick run. Something small.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to get out of bed and just do like some jumping jacks or a couple quick push-ups. Like just small stuff like that. And stay consistent with it. And really try to like incorporate stuff with it. Like if I'm gonna do 5 push-ups today, next week I'm gonna do 10 push-ups, or the week after that I'm gonna do.
So is that how you stay
20
consistent?
push-ups.
You consistently try.
I try to add more stuff on. Like now I could probably bang out 100 push-ups straight.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now maybe right now, like the other day my brother likes to do push-up contests against me, like little Pono, like tries to do push-up contests against me. And
Pono's a clown. Bro.
At first, I always thought it was kind of annoying, but after that, I was like, man, like this is kind of fun because he's forcing me to do this, and it's kind of not only is it fun for him, but it's also kind of helping me out. Yeah. So whenever he like sometimes he won't even ask me. I'll ask him. I was like, hey, you want to go bang out a quick push-up contest? He's like, heck yeah, let's go do it. We'll just go sit on the ground, just bang out like 60 straight, and then the next week we'll bang out like 70 straight. And him being him, he's just a straight little monster.
Yeah.
So he's just always trying to beat me by that little one. Maybe it's not a full push up because he's still a little kid. But
you got that competitive nature in him. Huh?
It's also really cool how he's competitive like that, and I find that really cool.
For sure.
And like I said, it kind of just forced me to like get out of bed and have something to do.
Yeah.
While it's also helping me out. So.
Definitely.
Yeah, I find that really cool.
Yeah, I feel like in this new year, though, most people are like, oh, it's the new year, new me, like you said before. And they set these, like, crazy goals, like losing 50%. It's like, bro, you can't do that in a month.
No,
like, there's no
you gotta make it
way.
realistic, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I feel like when they don't reach that goal, they get discouraged, and they're like, I'm not just going to... Exactly, when they're like, I'm going to go to the gym for all of January, and then they don't see a difference. They stop going because they're like, I'm wasting my time.
Or they think that they work out really hard a week, like 1 week, and then they reward themselves by eating like 4 ice cream cones on the weekend.
Exactly.
And then they feel super guilty and they're like, man, I don't know if I can do this. But it's more the fact that you want to set small little goals that you know you can achieve. Award yourself by doing something a little small, like having
smaller portions.
Yeah, exactly, like, small portions, and knowing that you can work it off. Then the next week, do something a little bit harder and award yourself just a tiny bit more, but not too much. And then the next week, work even harder, but award yourself with the same amount.
Yeah.
And then your body starts to think like, hey, I can really do this.
Yeah.
And then you start to notice like, hey, I'm really changing now. Yeah. And then that's where it kicks in like, hey, I want to keep doing this.
Definitely. It starts like adapting. Sorry to cut you off.
No, of course.
Like as time goes on, even for me and my fitness journey, it's like the first, like, I didn't know food was such a big part in working out. It's literally like almost all of it, right?
It's almost everything.
And I worked out like 7th through sophomore year, didn't see any change. Like literally nothing, because I thought if I just go super hard in the gym, I don't have to eat anything or anything like that, and I thought I'd be fine. Saw no change. And then I went on this bulk for like 3 or 4 months now, and like, dude, the change is crazy.
Oh yeah,
Like,
meals are a huge part of fitness.
Exactly.
Because you can tell yourself like, hey, I'm gonna drop 20 pounds, and be like, I'm not gonna eat at all from like 10 in the morning to like 12 o'clock at night. I'm just gonna eat a breakfast and that's it. Like that's not healthy for your body at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
If anything, that's hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Because you need like 3 meals a day. You need breakfast, you need lunch, you need dinner. And when you work out, your body is burning all the fat, right? If you don't eat nothing and it has no fat to burn, it's going to eat at your muscles.
Yeah.
So it's going to start eating at your muscles, and it's going to be like, hey, I have nothing else, no other fat that I can eat off of that I'm going to burn. I'm just going to start eating off your muscle now.
Yeah.
So that's why when you see people who work out a lot but don't eat a lot, they're super scrawny and stuff. They don't have a lot of muscle, and that's because they have no fat to burn because they're not eating. So other than when you see like bodybuilders, they eat like 8 meals a day.
Yeah.
They'll do like a chest workout, eat. They'll do like a leg workout and then eat again. And then they have like 3 meals at a gym. Like you'll see people walking around at their gym, like with a huge freaking container of like rice and chicken.
Are you serious?
And
I saw this dude
They just
doing
eat at the gym.
Oh yeah, 100%. Every single you'll see a couple people of those every single every single day
That's
at the
ridiculous.
gym.
It's
It
so
could be
funny.
any
I
gym.
saw this
gym
dude
right
doing
there.
the leg press while he was eating. I'm like,
Oh
oh my
my
god,
They do a
bro.
lot, and you can just tell like they're built. They're
built,
huge.
Yeah.
And that's because they eat and they give their body enough time to rest, and their body's gonna start eating off the fat instead of eating off their muscles, and that's how they're super like tight. Everything's super. You can see everything. You can see your triceps, their chest.
Yeah.
You can see everything because their body's burning off the fat and not eating off the muscle.
Right.
So that's one of the big things right there.
Exactly. So this might be a difficult question, but what is like your biggest failure, and how'd you bounce back from that?
Oh man, biggest failure. One of my biggest failures was my freshman year. So when I came into freshman year, I thought as being a freshman, grades didn't matter. Like I had some people tell me like, hey, your freshman year doesn't matter. Just have all your fun, and just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
When it's the total opposite.
Yeah.
Your freshman year matters the most, probably out of all your
Freshman
years.
and junior.
Because it really sets like how the rest of the years are going to go.
Right,
like,
true.
Your freshman year, if you get straight A's, you can get like A's, B's, and C's on your sophomore year, and you don't have to worry about nothing on your senior year. You can just have your fun. But if you get like F's your freshman year, you got to play catch up for the rest of the years.
Exactly.
And say you get another F your sophomore year, your senior year, you got to grind out straight A's or A's and B's. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to graduate.
Exactly.
My freshman year, I ended with 3. So we had 8 classes at Archbishop Murphy, and one of them was actually advisory, so kind of 7 classes. And I ended out with 3 A's, 2 C's, and 2 F's.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't, and throughout all of my freshman year, my grades were horrible.
Really?
And it was too late to when I noticed, like, hey, oh my God, like if I don't pick up my freshman year, I'm gonna play catch up for the rest of the years.
Exactly.
So when I ended my first semester, I ended with 3 F's, and my parents really got onto me for it.
You said 3 F's freshman year.
Yeah.
Holy
I
shit.
didn't. I was not focused on school at all, and I didn't understand the fact that you needed your school to be able to play sports.
Right.
So I actually missed a couple practices because
I think
of
it
my
happens to a
grades.
lot of athletes, though. They're like, okay, well, if I ball on the field, like, why does school even matter? Right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like, that was,
So
100%.
one of my biggest failures was not taking my freshman year seriously,
Mm-hmm.
because if I would have taken that seriously, I wouldn't have had to worry about nothing my
Exactly.
sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I had gotten good grades my junior year and at the end of my sophomore year, I don't really have to play catch up that much. I just got to get like an A in one class. That's it. But if I wouldn't have taken that seriously and then not taken sophomore year seriously, I would have been screwed.
Exactly.
Absolutely screwed. And I'd say that it was a good thing that I had left that private school, because they weren't giving me the promised help that they promised me.
Right.
They weren't giving me the help that they told me that they were going to give me. Because coming in my freshman year, they're like, hey, we're going to help you as much as possible. And then again, there was only like 4 colored people at our school. It was me, Sam, and these 2 other kids that played for our football team.
Okay.
And we kind of felt like we were the outcasts of the school, because we were just like the colored kids, like not really saw us that really equal. Because everybody else was like white and stuff, and like I have no problem. I have no problem against white people, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it's just more the fact that they were just treating us really different. Like
Really?
we'd ask for help, and they'd be like, "Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna help this person. Just come back later." And then you'd see someone else walk up there, and they instantly help them. And
Did you think that was a race thing?
I don't really want to say it was, but a lot of people thought it was.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand at the time what it really meant.
Right.
I was just like, oh, okay, he was probably more deep in the hole than I was.
Exactly.
He needed the extra help.
Yeah.
When really, I was the deepest in the hole in the whole class.
Exactly.
And that really affected us. And like I said, like I told you guys a while ago, my coach had told me that I'm not going to be able to go nowhere after high school if I don't stay at the school. I'm not going to be able to go D1
repeat that one more time because I don't think you said that this time. Your coach told you what?
Oh, so when my coach had pulled me in, I was actually the beginning of the football season for my sophomore year, the first semester of my sophomore year. He had him, our defensive coordinator, our dean of students, our lineman coach, and our corners coach come in. I think maybe even the QB coach, actually. I think it was the QB coach.
Yep.
There was about six people in there, and they pulled me in first. They called me and Sam down there. Sam sat outside, and then I got pulled in first. He showed me my grades. My grades were not the best. They could have been better. But then again, this was the right beginning of our sophomore year. And he was just showing my grades from last semester, my freshman year. How they weren't the best, and he told me I could do better. And then I told him, like, hey, I'm really thinking about changing because these teachers aren't giving me the promised help that they told me they'd give me.
Definitely.
And it's just they're not helping. They're not helping me. They're not helping Sam. They're not helping Booba. They're not helping Freddie. And it just really confused us, and he just started getting really mad at me. He was like, if you don't stay at the school, you're not going to go nowhere in life. And I was just like, it really shocked me because I was like, how can a head coach really tell you that?
Yeah.
And then he started going on the fact that you're not going to make it to college football. You're not going to make it to the NFL. Your dreams are just going to get crushed if you don't stay here. And I was just so in shock at that point because I never thought that a head coach would be able to tell me something like that.
Someone who was supposed to be like a mentor for you.
So at that point, I had just gotten up and I was like I just shook my head and I was like, Coach, I'm sorry, man. I can't do this. So I walked out the room, looked at Sam. I just told him, like, man, good luck, man. Walked back to my class and I just sat there thinking, I was like, man, I can't believe he just told me that.
Yeah.
Little did I know, when we went into the locker room, Sam told me the same thing was told to him. We both talked about it, and then that whole day we were just quiet. And we were pissed at the same time. So we messed up a lot of people during that practice.
Yeah.
We just went full go, and we did have to run after it because of it, but we were just hot headed. We just wanted to mess up everybody in front of us.
Has that little voice been a little driving factor in your head?
Oh, 100%.
Like you're fucking busting someone's ass.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm
going to make it anywhere, and then you just...
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the huge driving factors. And one of my big things is that I just want to be able to... Now that I've made it to college football, I just want to go back to him and be like, hey, man, thank you for that. Like, if you wouldn't have done that, I would have been where I am today.
Would you say when he said that, it gave you a little bit of pain, kind of? Like,
oh, yeah, definitely.
Because I always hear that humans' biggest motivators is pain and pleasure, and you had that pain, and sometimes pain can be a bigger... And if you heard that shit in your head...
Yeah, like pain can be a bad thing, but it can also be a good thing.
Yeah, it can show you a
and
lot.
that was the first point where I actually felt depressed.
Yeah.
And I was really down at that point. I had gone home after practice. I didn't talk to anybody. I just went straight to my room. I just laid down there, and like that was the first time where I actually felt depressed.
Really?
And I had my mom talk to me for a little bit about that and how that's not something you want to feel, how it's horrible, and one of the big reasons why I wanted to keep my small circle at North Creek when I first came in. Like,
for sure.
If I actually showed you guys I'll show you guys after, but when I show you guys my student ID picture, I was gone. Like, I didn't want to be nowhere. I just wanted to. I just wanted to be in class, not listen to anybody except for the teacher, do my work, and go on to practice and just F everybody up, right?
Exactly.
And then that's always been a driving factor because I just want to make it big and just go back and just prove them wrong. It's always been in the back of my head. I just want to prove them wrong. I just want to know that I'm going to make it and I'm going to go big.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to him and just say thank you. Like, without you doing this, I wouldn't be where I am today.
So you were saying that was like one of the main the main drive to like reach your goals, right? What if you didn't have that in your life? What if that never happened?
If I didn't, I feel like I'd find something somewhat of the same drive.
Yeah.
Because my dad's always been on me no matter what.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely.
So I feel like something would click at some point. Like, hey, I want to make it to the NFL. I'm going to do everything I can, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to workouts. I'm going to work my hardest. So I feel like there would be something that would click, but that's one of the biggest things that having him say that is there's a reason why I'm doing something. Like,
Yeah.
I could be out running and know, like, hey, I'm doing this because I want to prove my coach wrong, right?
Definitely.
That's good stuff, man, for real. Well, man, I think we're going to wrap it up here, my guy. That was freaking
Awesome.
amazing, and
That
we
was
appreciate
dope.
you for having me
Of
on,
course,
brother.
man. Of
Always,
course.
my guy.
Told my teacher, dumb bitch,